What if Luffy never ate a devil fruit? Thanks to this guy for the idea. So I think before he set out to sea, he'd probably learn good armament and observation haki from Garp's training, since he wouldn't have to worry about mastering a devil fruit. So let's start right at the beginning, when Luffy was found floating at sea and was brought onto Alvida's ship. With haki, he would definitely be able to beat Alvida, since no one in the East Blue is a haki user, and he's pretty much ahead of his game. After this, every event until Skypiea would be the same. At Skypiea, he'd struggle against Enel because, as we know in the original show, he defeated Enel through his Devil Fruit advantage. Now he'd have a harder time, but he'd still get through with his armament haki. Once he hears the news about Ace, he'd rush to Impel Down as he did, and he'd defeat Magellan a bit easier than in the show. At Marineford, he'd use Conqueror's haki for the first time, and this time, I think Ace would be saved because Luffy would be able to hold his own against Kizaru, which would make the Pirate Alliance have a stronger chance of saving Ace. At Amazon Lily, after the war, he and Rayleigh would continue his training, but since he already has pretty good haki, he'd become almost as strong as Rayleigh in haki usage, and he'd master Conqueror's haki as well. He'd then smoke through his opponents until he reaches Dressrosa, where the tournament for Ace's Devil Fruit at the Coliseum wouldn't happen, and Doflamingo might give him a tough time, but with Law on his side, he'd still be able to defeat Dofi. At this point, he's almost Yonko level and receives a 2.5 billion berry bounty, but is not yet considered a Yonko. Once he reaches Whole Cake, he defeats Katakuri and Cracker, and then they bring Sanji back like normal. Now at Wano, they plan the exact same idea to defeat the two Yonkos, Big Mom and Kaido. However, this time when Luffy is put in prison and learns Ryuo from Hyogoro, he's then able to defeat Kaido all alone from the second fight. While Kid and Law fight Big Mom, Zoro fights King, and Sanji fights Queen. Lots of people won't agree that Luffy can defeat Kaido, but at this point he's as strong as Rayleigh in terms of haki, and Kaido's weakness after Wano seemed to be strong Ryuo and haki. After Wano, Luffy's bounty increases to 4.5 billion berries and not free because, as we know, he doesn't have an insane devil fruit that the government wants to keep low-key. He's now a Yonko alongside Shanks, Whitebeard, and the main man himself, Buggy with the Cross Guild. Subscribe to be more like Luffy.